started.
Hello, Nuclear Insiders. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm here with,
Josie.
and I'm Max, and today we're talking about some really exciting stuff. We're going to be debunking a lot of myths and misconceptions about nuclear energy and things surrounding it. And yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. Josie, what's one of the things you hear a lot that really grinds your gears because you know it's just so false it drives you nuts?
There are so many of those, my friend Max. I would say a main one is people say nuclear reactors or nuclear plants can explode like nuclear weapons, which is so far from the truth.
So far from the truth.
The fuel inside a reactor isn't even enriched to anywhere close of a level as a nuclear weapon. A reactor is enriched to 20% maximum. The current reactors that we have right now are more in the 3 to 5% range. So that gives you a lot of perspective based on a nuclear weapon is like 90% or above, let alone all the other factors that make a weapon a weapon.
Well, another thing
and
is
a plant.
Nuclear bombs, right? When they're designed to have very uncontrolled reactions. They're designed to go crazy. They're designed to explode. And nuclear reactors are the complete opposite. They're designed to have very concentrated amounts of energy. And on top of that, there is a bunch of safety implements and regulations to make sure that it will never blow up like a nuclear bomb. So
Exactly.
I think we successfully just debunked that. My hands are a little clammy.
The power of knowledge.
Okay.
What's another one? What's your favorite?
I don't know. Well, it's not my favorite because it makes me sad that people actually believe it. But I think one that's really interesting is a lot of people think that nuclear waste is this green, yucky ooze like we see in The Simpsons or other TV shows, when it's really a lot less exciting than that. It's pretty dull and bland and gray and like black, and that's pretty much exactly what it looks like. And now a lot of new nuclear facilities that are being built, they can actually recycle that as well. Yeah, what do you think?
I think that you shouldn't believe everything you see on TV because it'll give you a lot of baseless knowledge. Like Max said, nuclear fuel itself is extremely dull. It's a solid too. It's not a liquid like that goo. It goes in the reactor as a solid. It comes out as a solid. Like Max said, a lot of it can be recycled as well. The US doesn't implement too much of that right now, but countries like France, which is like the leading nuclear country,
Shout out France.
Really shout out France.
Yeah.
They recycle most of their fuel, and we have that capability. And so
the only time you will ever see a glowing color or anything from a nuclear facility is there's something called Cherenkov blue light, and it comes from nuclear cooling pools. And that's when electrically charged particles like protons or electrons, they move through a clear medium like water, but they move through it faster than the speed of light. So when that happens, it disrupts the molecules in the water and it releases photons that in a shock wave that are a bluish tint. So it's not green, it's blue, but that's the only time you'll ever see like a kind of a sci-fi looking thing within nuclear energy.
Another one is, now that we have our globe, let's talk about Chernobyl. A big misconception is that because there was that accident that can just happen to any reactor, or that's going to be a common thing. When it was a one in one time only kind of explosion.
With that, it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was all technology that was foreign.
It's Soviet Union technology. We've never used it in the US. It's RBMK or RMBK, I can't think of it right now, reactor. We have never adopted that here.
We also never will adopt that here.
It's pretty much discontinued like future use. There are still reactors that exist with that kind of technology, but they're all like Russia, Ukraine areas. So yeah.
Another thing is a lot of people think nuclear plants are outdated or old, which is not true. The older plants are being decommissioned to be replaced by newer technology, these newer reactors that are much more advanced and efficient, and the safety protocols are through the roof. It's really interesting technology that they're working with, but
the new technology that has surfaced is insane. Like, not only in the US, we have our molten salt reactors, we have thorium reactors, we have China, which is not the US, but China just released the first ever meltdown proof reactor. They did all the testing on it, passed all the testing, which essentially means that in any case of scenario, if power goes out, if anything happens, the reactor will cool itself. So everything you hear about all of these incidents or all that like green slimy goo getting everywhere, it's can't happen.
And with these new reactors, like we talked about earlier with recycling spent fuel or nuclear waste, the new reactors are so good at that. That's one of the things coming out with all these new reactors that are being built is to recycle the waste that comes out, or some of the waste that comes out. Josie, how do you feel? Do you think living near a nuclear power plant is bad for you and your health?
I think if you're going to complain about living near a nuclear power plant, you should realize that you're probably living in proximity to a coal one, which gives you about 100 times more radiation than a nuclear power plant ever will.
Or just daily
have you ever been on
items in
an
your life
airplane
that you interact with. You're going through security at an airport, more radiation than living, in a 100-mile radius of a nuclear power plant.
If you live in a 50-mile radius of a nuclear power plant, you get less radiation than if you were to eat a banana like every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that gives you a lot of perspective on that.
If you have pale skin and you go in tanning beds at a tanning salon,
in one tanning session, you probably get more radiation than an entire year.
Yeah, I would even say maybe a lifetime. I don't know. I feel like those look crazy. Those look bad.
Like X-rays give you like 100 times radiation or something.
Yeah. Also, if you you can eat a banana and you get a very small dosage of radiation. So
everything in life, like everything surrounding us, gives us radiation, whether it's natural or unnatural things that we've created. You're going to get it no matter what. And a nuclear power plant is probably the safer way to get it. So
yeah. What else? We have
safety.
Yeah, safety. People think nuclear power plants are like a ticking time bomb or something, which, as we were just talking about Chernobyl and like Fukushima, it's not the case at all because there is so many safety regulations in place and implements.
As well as along with that, nuclear energy is already like one of the safest forms of energy. Yeah. So even without adding on all of the glory of us sitting here and telling you about all the regulations, yeah, you can take that in, but also nuclear energy, not only the mining, but the plants themselves are about 97% safer than fossil fuels, 99% safer than coal, and something else for some other fossil number.
Yeah, it's one of the safest forms of energy. You have, fossil fuel and, oil pollution that it fills the air and it causes all these health problems.
But not only health problems, but you also have the accidents. Like you can take the nuclear reactor accidents and we have, like it says, like 99% less deaths than any fossil fuels, which is just a crazy fact because you associate such negative energy towards it. But
yeah, nuclear energy has significantly less health impacts across the board. But yeah, those are some of the most common myths. That's Sergio. He's walking. But those are some of the most common myths I hear. And we just wanted to come on here quick to let you know that they're all wrong. And
debunk that.
Don't listen to everything you hear unless it's coming from us.
Because
we're speaking the truth. This isn't fake news. We're speaking
everyone lies.
Truth. Except for us.
Except us.
Josie, except for us. We don't lie. We're honest. Look at these faces. And if you're listening to it, imagine two people that look really honest.
Imagine two really, really cool, honest people just looking at you, trying to tell you about all the facts of nuclear energy. And I think you should sit and listen.
Anything else? Okay, so you guys, one more thing. Next week, we're going to be talking about some really, really exciting laser technology involving enrichment of uranium. So stay tuned for that because it's going to be effing
Epic.
awesome. It's going to be awesome. So, as always,
Stay nuclear.
stay nuclear. Okay.